Welcome my friends to another splendiferous Colonel Marbles Miniatures Review vidcast, and sorry if you missed out on seeing last week's episode. There seems to have been some kind of technical problem with one of the YouTube servers. Better luck this week, I hope. Well anyway, we've got a relatively short show this week after the Game Zone special the other day. Just a top 8 for you, but I think you'll be impressed with this week's number 1. I'm very pleased to say the show continues to be sponsored by Rattlehead Games, fine purveyors of many of the independent sci-fi and fantasy figures featured in the show. So we kick off this week at number 8 with Heresy Miniatures. Yes, Andy Foster has a new range of 5 sci-fi customs inspectors upcoming, and I've featured 2 here. Very handy for dioramas, or even RPGs I should think. There'll be £3 UK each, or all 5 for £12 UK. And missing out again on their traditional number 1 spot is Rackham. These rather blurry pictures were taken at the recent Gen Con in Paris. Alongside the new pre-painted plastic range of cavalry that we've already seen was this rather nice evil dude in a pointed hat. But my favourite is probably this bizarre gobbo in a death wheel, and it looks like there'll be more than one of these. Spanish company Zenit Miniatures are at number 6. First up is Thetis the Sorceress, who has naked but heavily tattooed breasts, as you can see. I like the Iron Claw's hand too, but overall it's not doing a great deal for me. Sculpted by Javier, and this is an evil-looking witch or brewjar called Ariel. It's rather a strange pose, and I'm not sure what she's supposed to be holding. Again sculpted by Javier Fernandez. Finally we have Muriel, a female paladin. A nice idea, but she looks top-heavy. The demon face armour is cool, but the spindly legs make her look a little ridiculous. Sculpted by Hugo Gomez, all these minis are 33mm and will sell for €12. At number 5 we find Darkson Designs. They do a range of weird World War II figures. First up is an American OSS agent, Wolf, who will cost $6.99. Nice pose, very John Woo. And also we have this rather weirder German female officer. Both miniatures will come with alternate heads and arms, something I'm a big fan of. She'll also cost $6.99. Other world miniatures are all-round fan favourite and gobbo sculpting legend Kev Adams is producing a new range of pig-faced orcs. Apparently lots of variants are planned with different heads and weapons. He also promises to do some archers, a command pack, and a tribal pack which will include a shaman, females and brats. Always nice to see a few brats. I must admit that these take me back to the very, very early days of my collecting miniatures in the early 80s, when if I can recall correctly there was a chunky range of pig-faced orcs by some long-forgotten manufacturer. These are far better than those. At number 3 this week we find Crunchwaffle. They've got this dynamic-looking Viking dwarf coming out soon, sculpted by Alf Veerth. Love the way he's swinging that axe. Here's a side view of the same figure, which gives more detail on what looks like a hawk's head or some such motif on his helmet. Nice. Also upcoming are these rather disturbing undead children. They are called Mylings, part of Swedish lore apparently. These are work-in-progress pieces, by the way. Weird miniatures find themselves pipped to the post this week at number 2. This is Injun Joss, a cool-looking native type holding 2 strange-looking and very non-native axes. He comes in 3 pieces, was sculpted by Paul Muller, and will cost you $6.50. Next up is Marcus the Beastmaster. He comes in 3 pieces as well. And there's also an additional hand without the flame and an optional machete. Sculpted by Edgar Skomorowski, and it will cost you $6.50. Now this has to be my favourite, a 3-headed saber-toothed tiger. It comes in 5 pieces, the 3 heads obviously, a body and a right rear leg. I think I'll be picking this one up. It's just about going to fit into my Nubian fantasy Darkest Africa concept. This one sells for $8.50 and was sculpted by Steve Saunders. Sponsored in part by Blue Table Painting, your first choice for an excellent miniatures painting service. At number 1 this week, and I can't believe this, I think this is the first time it's ever happened, is Hassle-Free Miniatures. This is a Roaring Moor, sculpted by Matt Lord, which will be produced by Hassle-Free's White Metal line. This vicious beast is 2.5 centimetres tall and approximately 4 centimetres long. Of the 3 Moors being produced, this Leaping Moor has to be my favourite. I believe the legs will be cast separately for each Moor. This Crouching Moor is cool too. No word on pricing yet, but these are awesome sculpts, possibly Doom inspired, but great fun. Obviously an inspired move by Hassle-Free to pick these up. And that, I'm afraid, rather sadly, brings us to the end of another Colonel Marbles Miniatures Review vidcast. I'll see you again next week, and thanks for tuning in.